In a world where your car drives itself. Hello, and welcome to Geekstreet Cafe. Most of us have heard about the whole self-driving car thing lately. It's popular, everyone's talking about it, and Tesla has made so much progress with their autopilot where the car can drive itself, sort of, and where it can steer for you, sort of, and it can get you to your destination, sort of. The reason sort of is so used right now is because it only does it sort of kind of well. It's not complete. It's technically in beta right now, meaning that it's, a test software. And it's not what we want, in the self-driving car community where we can just press a destination and never think about the car again, where we can look at our phone, take a nap, read a book, eat lunch, I don't know, fill in the blank here. But we're not there yet. So how does autopilot work? And I'm going to go ahead and say that, several other car companies are coming out with autopilot-like technologies, but I personally feel that Tesla is doing the best, and for the sake of discussion today, I want to use it as our demonstration vehicle. So let's say that you hop into a brand new Tesla Model S with autopilot. What can you do? Well, what you have to do is first you must get on the highway. It can't do inner city or back road or other, multi-turn location environments or high-risk environments. What you can do is you can get on the highway or a long, unturning country road and press the autopilot button. And then it'll give you this warning about keeping both hands on the on the steering wheel and making sure that your eyes are on the road. Safety stuff. So we've seen a lot of YouTube videos right now of people who have completely ignored this rule and are doing things like taking naps and reading books and, playing on their cell phone. Well, the reason that they say you need to keep both hands on the steering wheel is important. Autopilot is limited in what it can do. It can keep itself in the lane for you. It can even slow down or speed up based on traffic, which is awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's amazing. It's using something called LiDAR, which is laser radar technologies. And it'll use these things to help see the world around it. It'll even see obstacles and warn you about them so you can take control, which is why you need to be conscious of what's going on. But as soon as you clock out, that means that you're leaving an imperfect technology in control of your life, which is dangerous. It has the ability to stay in its lane and even change lanes. It can see, obstacles. It can, be aware of other traffic around it. And in fact, it can even do things like, see traffic lights occasionally, depending on the location. And my gosh, it can even park itself. You can tell it to just auto park, which is fantastic. I hate parallel parking. So the technology is great, but it has its limitations. And that limitation can be narrowed down to one big contributor. Not the only contributor, but a big one. And that contributor is people. People are unpredictable, right? I mean, even now, say you just get into your car that you own now, you don't know what the other person's going to do. You don't know if the teenager over there has been properly trained or is paying attention. You don't know if the man over there is falling asleep or has gotten the proper amount of sleep. You don't know if the lady over there has had a bad day. And that can change the way people drive, right? So the technology has difficulty dealing with that. They can't predict human unpredictability. So we're working on it, we're getting there, but we're not perfect yet. So the question is what do we do about that? What do we do to improve that situation? Well, there's two sides of the argument, two sides of the same coin. One says that we just need to get everyone off the steering wheel and let the computers take over completely, where, the whole world is full of self-driving cars. That's great. It's also really difficult and probably impossible. One, because that's a lot of money, and two, because there's a lot of people that love driving. I mean, there's people that find it relaxing or invigorating, or, some people just want the control of staying in their own control of the vehicle instead of giving it over to a computer. And those are good reasons. But those are reasons that the whole switching the whole world over thing doesn't really pan out. The other thing is to do something like, let's figure out how to make a hybrid world with human-controlled cars and computer-controlled cars, such as we can make an HOV lane-like thing that's only for driverless cars. That's great, but again, you run into the people problem of there's going to be people that jump in that lane for fun, for whatever reason. It's emptier than the other ones. I don't know. It's not perfect, so that kind of doesn't really work either. The other last option is to make the technology good enough where it can contend with both predictable things and unpredictable things. And that's where we're at right now. They're working on the technology, which is why autopilot is in beta. It's not complete. So how do we deal with that right now? Where do we go from here? Well, people like Ford, the Ford company, and Audi have said that by 2020 they intend to have what's called level 4 autonomous vehicles, meaning they're completely in control. You literally push the button into your destination and it will take over from there. No touching the steering wheel or anything. Most people are kind of laughing at that idea, but I don't think that that's as hard as you might think. The technology is available. They just have to work out the nitty-gritty details. And once they do that, then that unlocks this immense world of ability that you can use with your car. Now, when people like me who drive for a living are driving for, say I do a 6 to 7 hour day, then I can be productive elsewhere while I'm just riding in this car. And that would be great for me. Let me just go ahead and say I am a huge fan of the self-driving car community, but I can see the obstacles that it's running into. So eventually, we're going to get to the point where self-driving car technology is so popular that everyone is having it, where eventually the world moves into this place of self-driving cars. But there will always be, like classic cars, these people who will not give up the steering wheel. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but we have to figure out how we're going to deal with that. So my thoughts are, what do you guys intend? What does the community say? Do you want a self-driving car? Is that something that would be convenient for you? Or are you on the side of, no, I don't want to give up my steering wheel? Are you insane? So that's, tell me, which side of the debate are you on? There's people who even ride the fence saying, I'm okay with a self-driving car as long as I have the option to take over with a steering wheel if I feel in the mood. Kind of like a, press a button on the dashboard and the steering wheel pops out kind of thing, which would be kind of cool. So, I don't know. You tell me. Thanks for joining me today at Geekstreet Cafe. If you like what you hear, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and post something in the comments. At the end of every episode, we're going to have a random fact of the day. And today's random fact is, in 1971, we saw the first ever appearance of wireless internet technology. Except it wasn't called Wi-Fi. We connected Hawaii to the US mainland and get them internet access. It was called Aloha Net. Yeah, Nintendo!